Welcome to our newly designed quarterly statements. Wanted to give you a quick detail on what we're looking at here as we unveil the new client portal as well as the statements. You'll see a beginning page, and on each box or quadrant that we're looking at, there's going to be more details to everything that we see. This is a summary page. So for instance, when we look at this quadrant right here, we're going to see an asset allocation. We're going to look at the total account value. It's just a test client is $532,999. We'll see that we have 2.57% in emerging markets and 18.67% in foreign equities. And we'll talk about this a little bit more. So it shows our allocation between the risk and the less risky. It'll show our top 10 holdings down here in the bottom left quadrant. So we've got double line total return bond, Vanguard life strategy, etc. So it's just showing the top 10 holdings. The quadrant up here, you're going to see a year to date. In this particular one, you see quarter to date. Now, this particular quarter to date, it is run, you see in bottom left down here, it's as of April 2nd when I'm doing the test. When I post your reports, the quarter will be an actual quarter end. So it'll be March 30th or 31st, June 30th, September 30th, December 31st. So we're going to have a year-to-date number, and you can see that's roughly 9%. We're going to have a quarter-to-date number. Drag it over here, and you see what that is for the last couple days. And the last 365 days. So the last 365 days is obviously going to encompass the year-to-date, because year-to-date is only a little over 3 months in this example. So the last 365 days in this example would be from April 2nd of 2018 to April 2nd of 2019. Then down here we show a quadrant that just says how much money did you put into or out of the portfolio on an annual basis, and it's a month-end basis. So for 2019, you see the double asterisk. It says represents a partial 90-day period ending 3/31. So it doesn't go to 4/2 like the report. They do on month ends. If you go to the next page, you're going to see the way we've released them is we have a combined portfolio statement. And then once we get there, we'll have individual accounts. So this will be an individual account. So there's your total individual account. But they come back into the combined. So we're going to focus on the combined. We're going to look at the allocations. So in this particular example, I'm just going to focus on this foreign equity. And so in this foreign equity, it says in this particular test client, they have 4 securities that are in the foreign equity area. It's going to show the value of each of these 4 securities here. And so the total value is roughly $99,485. Now, when you look over here, we've got year-to-date return. We're going to have quarter return, and then the last 365 days. So for our foreign equity, this particular test client was up roughly 12.2% in foreign equity year-to-date, whereas the index is up 11.35. So what we're trying to do is compare what happened in your securities versus the appropriate index. So up here in emerging markets, they've got 13,000 and some change. They've only got one emerging market security. It was up 15.23% against 11.25% on the index. Domestic equities, they've got a lot of different U.S. stock holdings, roughly $269,000, up 12.79% versus this particular domestic equity index is just the S&P 500. So, in here we've got large and small. We've got some less risky growth securities. So, but we can only compare it against one index, and we chose to compare it against the S&P 500 index. You can see the same thing for quarter to date, year to date for this particular allocation against the respective index. Alternative strategy. When we look at alternative strategy, these are less risky. They're kind of a replacement to the bonds as we've made some changes in the portfolios. They're going to go up, they're going to go down, but they're not going to have the volatility of the stock market. They're going to have a little bit more volatility than the bond market. But you look at this, we've got two holdings in here, these two. It says we got 36,000. They are up 6.04% for the year versus 4.3% for their index. Ditto on quarter to date and last 365 days. We've got domestic bonds, total right here, return versus the index, and then we've got cash. You're going to have the same report for the individual accounts. So here we go for individual accounts. Not going to explain it. Same report for another individual account. Different account here. You see the account number's changed. Different account number is changed. Another account number. Then we come in here and it's just a larger expansion of the asset allocation chart. Pretty much the exact same thing. It's just done with a donut hole chart versus the traditional pie chart. So it shows the total holdings, the different slivers of asset classes. Again, year to date, we've got 2018. So just pay attention to, we're always going to have year to date. The columns may be a little different, 365 days. You know, this may be quarter to date in yours versus 2018. So when we look at this, it says here's your beginning balance. Here's the inflows and outflows of the account. Here's the change in value of securities that we held, the change in value of securities that we sold. What were the income and expenses in the account? So dividend income, interest income, less any management fees, ending total value, investment gains, and then the rate of return. Same thing you can see in 2018 and the last 365 days. And then we just come in here, we've got our traditional disclaimers, which were on the prior reports that we provided as well. So these are the reports that we think are valid. These same reports that we're releasing to you in a PDF format at the end of the quarter, you pretty much get these same reports in your web portal that we'll talk about as well in another video, as well as the app that you get on your website as well, or on your telephone as well. So we can release a lot of different information with this software, but this is the stuff that we felt that was needed by the majority of our clients. As we develop other things in here, we might release a few other reports to certain people, but we feel that this is a valid report. If there's something else that you want from data points or information that you want, we can certainly try to design that and put it in the reports for everyone, or maybe just specifically for you as well.